Now for the real deal New England feel.
I went up the rail. My wife told me I would be ashamed of myself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone is here. Joe is with us in the booth, and you are watching us on YouTube. And subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. That's what we're looking for. And make sure you leave a comment. We always appreciate that. You can give us a call and heated hotline, too, 855-313-PATS, P-A-T-S. Message line 24/7. Or you can email us on our mailbag, corso.catone@gmail.com. Hey, we got a good one. I like the title today. I like the title, Digs Out, Tatum In. Big night for, and we're going live, too, so our live chat is open. So make sure you, send us a chat while you're listening in here, and Joe will pay attention, see if we can, tell me.
You should have, put something, could you have bet when Tatum was playing? Because you said, we're going to roll the dice. He's playing. This was the beginning of the week. You said, we're going to go live Saturday because I got a feeling Tatum's playing Friday. This is before that was even announced.
I know. Imagine if I could pick things like that, But we're going to talk all about it. We're going to do that in B's and C's. And in Pat's preview, we want to discuss, now A.J. Brown, Pierce, receivers. What are we going to do, Mark? The tampering period opens up on Monday.
You might have to get out there and play in the slot.
Get in there, put the pads on, and get myself ready to go. Get out there, man. I can run a route, and then right to the ambulance, right to the hospital. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to go back, talk about in Weekly Rewind, talk about the Combine. Few positions, few players that we saw and we looked at. Mark, I'll have some good things for that. Hi, guys.
Hey.
You having a good week? Are we all, shoveled out? And
please forget the snow.
Melting.
Now it's spring. World Baseball Classics happening. It's snow. It's spring.
Right. You still got 3 feet of snow, though, on the ground.
No, I know. Listen, it's wishful thinking. Wishful thinking, right?
But, well, I'll tell you what was also wishful thinking was that we're going to get Jason Tatum back this season. Well, we got him back. Got him back last night. And we're going to talk about that in B's and C's, and we're going to do it right now.
Hit it! The Boston Celtics are the world champions, and they have shown the world how great a ball club they really are. Screen shot,
From Duke, number 0,
behind him. Oh, yeah, there it is. On the follow. 0 is back in the scoring column. Oh, come on. T pumps it, shoots it, sticks it.
It's been nearly 300 days. This place was electric tonight. How would you describe this feeling right now?
It was surreal. It was an emotional day. It's been a long journey. God is the greatest. To get me to this point, it was many days I dreamed about this. And for it to finally happen and share it with my family, my teammates, the crowd, it was everything I could have dreamed of.
What can you tell us about that journey you just mentioned?
It's been tough. Emotional. A lot of times I doubted myself. A lot of nights I spent crying. But I just try to keep showing up every day and try to put my best foot forward. And, I still got a long way to go, but this is a huge step for me.
How important was it to be around the team? Because you were around these guys all the time, it felt like.
Yeah, I think just for me, being around these guys, they motivated me the way they attacked the season, the way they've competed and been together. Going through rehab is lonely. You kind of feel isolated. And it's not intentional. You just, you can't be out there a part of the team. So being around as much as I possibly could just still made me feel like I was a part of the group. And that helped me out a lot.
Yeah, okay. So that was Jason Tatum's little compilation there about the game and the crowd reaction and what he had to say after. 27 minutes, Mark.
More than I thought he would play.
A
last
lot
night,
more.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah,
I thought he'd be at 20, 23 minutes, something like that.
That's what I thought. Yep, I figured.
But he almost went for a triple-double.
Yeah.
You know, if Kata hits a couple of more of those shots off those assists, he gets the triple-double, but he had 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Yeah.
A strong outing.
Yeah.
You know, for him coming back.
Yeah.
But before we get into last night, though, let's talk about the road a little bit. Okay.
What do you want to talk about? The documentary?
Put it on the screen. He was like, Jason, let me show you.
This is his Achilles tendon right here. This is one end of the tendon. This is the other. This is the gap right here. And this is what we sew back together.
It's the music.
Yeah, I remember I shook my head. I couldn't look. I couldn't lift my head up. And he was like, all right, these are the different options of surgeries that you can do.
There's pretty strong data that if you do it within 24 hours, patients have better outcomes.
There's things around the tendon that we can preserve that makes the recovery process and the surgery better. He looked at his watch and he was like, man, I'm actually free today around 3. And it just kind of felt like my soul left my body, and I just put my head down.
His face, he's turning white. Jason was like, I'm not doing that. It's like, I didn't wake up this morning thinking I was going to have surgery. And so everybody's just kind of looking around, and he's like, nah, I'm not. And so I just asked everybody to leave the room.
Yeah, she just grabbed me. And I kind of, I broke down.
The drama.
It's like, that was like soap opera music in the background, right?
So, listen, not to diminish, the injury or anything like that, but the doctor is the funniest one in the entire series thing he did, because doctor's like, yeah, I mean, I could do it today.
Yeah, he looks at his watch. I can do it at 3.
I can do it at 3 o'clock. I do 17 of these a day. Yeah. They're that routine. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're just gonna go in. We're gonna
performing some intricate brain surgery.
No, it wasn't an amputation. We're gonna do a leg transplant. He's like, yeah, I mean, we're just gonna put it back together. You're gonna, you're gonna be, and then later on, he's talking about with the doctors in the room with him, and he's like, I'm not coming back to be a role guy, doc. I'm gonna. He's like, yeah, no, you're gonna be fine. Doctor's like, he's like, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, it's the same as it was before, if not stronger. I mean, you're, it's gonna be fine. And he's like, yeah, doc, we'll get there, doc. We'll get there. He's like, yeah, I mean, you're good. Yeah, I know, you're gonna be fine. It's, like what? That's, I don't begrudge anybody for wanting to sell things. Make money, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But
doesn't it shed some light on the Jaylen Brown, they're together issue that's like just underneath the undertone of that sort of situation? You know what I mean?
I hope it was just, okay, it's a moneymaker, We put a docuseries thing together. We're going to sell it. We're going to get people to subscribe. How will they make money doing that? That's what they're going to do. Okay, good. I hope it's that. And he's really not that soft.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I think it's a money thing, Chris. Listen, this is what these guys do now. Like, we've talked about this in the past. This is a different era. They got these media guys, these media companies they work with, and he's making money. So why not? This was a moneymaker. Like you said, listen, you don't think when Brady hurt his knee, social media wasn't a thing then.
If this was a thing.
If this was a thing then, you don't think he would have documented the comeback. You know what I mean?
He would have done it. Yeah, because, I look at it and say, because, like, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, what is your thought on the all the discussion about his mental state through all this?
Yeah.
Like, is it overplayed to me?
Well, I am going to say this.
I get it. You're injured.
If that truly was his mental state and he wasn't playing it up a little bit for the documentary, that is, like you said, a little concerning, because, like, you got to toughen up, kid. I mean, come on.
You're an athlete. You're going to get hurt.
And that plays into that whole mentality of, you and I have discussed this over the last 2 or 3 years. Yes. Does he have that dog and killer instinct in him? And if you watch this, you'd be like, nah, he doesn't.
You know, they show him going up the stairs. They show him sitting down, backing himself up the stairs, like from going backwards.
The stairs. Well, maybe the guy that was filming could have gave him a little help, Chris.
It was only 2 steps.
No.
My hope is that it was all part of the show.
Yeah.
Because last night he looked pretty tough to me out on the court.
Oh, listen. He surprisingly looked better than I thought he was going to look. I'll be honest with you, Chris. I didn't think he would look as good as he did last night. So that was a pleasant surprise, and it's encouraging. If you think this team has a run in them, then last night was definitely encouraging.
So again, I can't question Jason Tatum's toughness because the guy plays more games than anybody else.
And Chris, he did.
I'm talking about in the echelon of superstars.
And Chris, he come back early from this. Technically, he could have taken. Listen, if he was a little soft, Chris, like we just debated. Well, shit, he could have taken the whole year out and said, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. I'm out. I'll see you next year. But the kid battled to come back. So I give him credit for coming back because he very easily could have said, "I'll see you next year."
Yeah. So that's all. That's all part of the show. Okay, so now he's back on the court. So we see him out there. And again, he had a first quarter like I thought he had. But I tell you this, a couple of things I caught from watching him. Because I wasn't just that I was wanting to see him.
No.
I wanted to, more important to me, was to see Jaylen Brown's reaction.
How he reacted,
and how he behaved playing. Was he just going to go hide in the corner? And it was just going to be my turn, your turn, that kind of thing, which I don't like. We don't want them to get back into that.
No.
I was encouraged by all of what I saw because what I saw was Tatum coming back saying, okay, I'm going to facilitate. I'm going to be a part of the game. It's not going to be about just getting me right.
Yep.
Getting me comfortable. It's going to be about me working into the system here. Which he did. I think he had 2 assists or 3 assists and a couple of rebounds before he even took a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you make of all of this, of his performance anyway?
So, yeah, you are right. I think we both were interested to see how that would play out with Brown and whether or not what Brown had been doing all year, all of a sudden last night changes. But it didn't. I have a feeling, Chris, and you and I debated this week, and we talked about it. I have a feeling that Tatum's going to get back into the swing of it. This is a different team. There's no Drew Holiday. There's no Porzingis. There's no Horford. Like, this is a different team that he's coming back to than who was on that court last year, the last 2 years that Tatum played with, right? Yeah. So I think for this year, Tatum is going to get back into the groove, acclimate himself into this offense, contribute, and do what he's going to do to help the team win. But I think it's almost going to be like, for lack of
this is Jalen's, this is Brown's team, and I know it is right now.
Exactly. And for lack of a better phrase, I'm going to say it's almost like Brown's 1 and Tatum's 1A. For the rest of this season. And then I know you got some interesting thoughts about the offseason. But you were pleasantly surprised, and I'll let you get into this. You were pleasantly surprised by Brown's comments after the game.
Yeah, because what I'm concerned about, people say, well, these guys have been playing together for 8-9 years. I mean, they know how to play together. I mean, why would Jaylen Brown now all of a sudden? Because I contend that he's gone in this offseason.
Yeah,
that he wants to be a one somewhere, and that's it.
Yep.
Given his comments, given the tweets he's put out, I'm the best 2-way player. I'm this, I'm that. We heard it last week. So that's my contention. But when I listened to him after the game talking, Jaylen Brown I'm talking about, he almost sounded like the big brother, the custodian of the team. I wanted to make sure he's not going to get hurt again. I wanted to make sure he was right. I want to make sure we don't do anything that sets him back, that pulls him to where we are, as if he's above all of it.
He's the leader now of this team.
He's the leader. He's the leader. He's Tatum's big brother. He's the guy that's going to make sure that the superstar that we have, my little brother superstar on this team, is going to be back the way it's supposed to be. Now, if he's got that mindset, then yeah, they can. Then maybe he's not going to take that idea of, no, I got to get out of here and I got to go to Sacramento and be the one, or wherever. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. And like I said, Chris, I think for the rest of this year, it will be Brown's 1 and Tatum's 1A or 1B, whatever you want to call them. And I think Tatum would probably be okay with that this year as he reacclimates. However, can it stay like that? To your point, I don't know. I know he's playing, that's my little brother role, Brown, right now. But, in the off season, is he going to be okay with going back to, this is Jason's team?
Well, this is the season.
Right now, right now, even the comments he made yesterday, which you referred to, I'm going to make sure this is his team this year. And even his comments last night was made well, I'm going to make sure he's okay. He's healthy. This is Brown's team this year.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Can you like that? I don't know, Chris.
I'll be honest with you. I don't. If it doesn't happen this offseason, I don't think it's going to happen because
they'll stay together.
Let's not forget. I mean, this is not like they're in year 3 or 4. These guys have been together for 9 years. I mean, they're not getting any younger.
Chris?
Yeah, 8-9 years. I mean,
I didn't realize it was that long, Chris.
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
okay.
I think Brown referred to it last night. We've been only playing for almost 9 years.
Yep.
So they're not getting any younger. I mean, Brown's not getting any younger.
No.
So that window and this opportunity that he had, the 62-game opportunity to show I'm the one. Yeah. That's a one-time thing. That's it. That's a one-season opportunity, which he took, and he did, and he's clearly a number one. Jaylen Brown's clearly a one. You don't get to be 5th in the MVP voting and not be a one in this league. And he probably is the best two-way player in basketball right now. He probably is. So, but if he doesn't make that move and demand that move this offseason, I don't think that happens. So, if they survive this offseason, and then we're going to go to break, but I want to know from you, okay, what are your concerns? Because my concerns moving forward with both of them on the court are end of halves, end of game situations,
who's going to take the ball?
Who's going to get the ball? Is it going to be a Tatum pounded into the ground 25 times and just fall away like we?
I don't know. I don't know, Chris, if that'll happen. I don't know if they'll fall back into that with what Brown has done this year, Chris. I don't know.
How
if
about
they
pace?
Will. That's going to be something I think we have to watch. That's going to be interesting to see what that pace is like with Tatum on the court. Yeah, that's
because this is a different team. I feel. I'm going to say this. I think this is. I'm not talking about 2 years ago. Talking about last year at this time.
Yep.
Okay. This is a better basketball team than last year's team at this time, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, with that said, Chris, I know everyone's talking about, now.
Sick. He was sick. He was not a contributor. Holiday wasn't the same guy. You know what I mean?
Horford wasn't the same guy. The age started to show up, right? No, you're right. But listen.
Would you rather have Horford last year? That Horford last year or Kata right now?
Kata. Yeah. I'd rather have Kata. But, so, with that said, are they the number one contender in the East?
I think so.
All things considered, this team, you lost last year to the Knicks. So this team without Holiday and Porzingis and Horford can beat the Knicks, but they couldn't do it last year.
Right.
All right.
I think so, because I think if you have to take it as it was. You take it as it was. You take the team as they were last year. You can't say, you can't look at them and say Porzingis 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So and also the hustle. The one thing the caveat I will caution to everyone out there is to say this. They're winning a lot. They have guys on this team who Gonzalez and company, Walsh, that play with hot hustle, effort. And in the NBA, you don't get that from teams every night.
No, but you will in the playoffs. Teams will give you
in
that.
The playoffs.
Yeah.
So that shit's going to level out.
Yes.
They'll catch up. So is it going to be?
That's a good point, Chris.
so all that hustle work that you got done is NBA teams are going to catch up with that in the playoffs. So it's all things to look at, things to pay attention to. Hey, we've given the Bruins no love in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we got to talk because it's the trade deadline.
But the trade deadline came and went with the Boston Bruins.
That's the key term, came and went.
And they made a small move, but they did really nothing. Mark, I would have almost rather seen them continue to sell the Zakas of the world and you know what I mean? And continue to just build this way if they weren't going to add anything.
Yeah, let me add one more thing. Raven Network just posted this up. Let me show this up here. Brown to Tatum should be Mikhail the Bird.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Only this year, the bird is Brown is Bird this year. This is the point.
That's what we've been discussing. Yeah.
But yeah.
Listen, Chris. But here's the thing. Maybe they should have been sellers, but that goes against Jacobs' whole theory of listen. Let's just get in. Last team in.
Yeah.
Sell playoff tickets, merchandise, like you know what I mean?
Make the playoffs. I'm pissed that they didn't move Swayman. I knew they weren't going to, but I
ask you this: who are you going to move him to? Who would be? First of all, last week we talked about. You said they may have to eat a little bit of the contract to move on from him, and you're right; they probably would have. But I don't know if anyone's taken on that contract, and the fact that is that people.
Well, I mean, if teams like Edmonton that are hard up for goalie, and they're looking at guys like Binghamton, and guys like that were out there. Well, I could sell Swayman to them and say, hey, look. This guy's younger. Yeah, he's got a tough contract, but we're going to eat some of that. You can rework it. I mean, you got a younger goalie who's pretty good. I mean, he's not terrible. He's good. He's a good goalie. He's not. I just think he's a stiff. I just don't. I think the time to move on from him would have been now.
Yeah, you're stuck with him
because next year he's got the no trade kicks in.
Yeah, you're stuck with him.
I can't stand them. But anyway, so the Bruins came. They did nothing. So we'll see if they can hold on and into this 8th seed and make the playoffs. Because if they don't make the playoffs, then
if they make the playoffs, Chris, we both agree they're not going anywhere.
Well, especially if it's going to be against Tampa in the first round,
right? I mean, where are they going? Right? They're not going anywhere. Yeah.
So Bruins, Celtics, we're going to be paying attention. It's a very exciting time now, especially for the Celtics because Tatum's back and. They seem to be the prohibitive favorites in the East moving out of that. So we'll see what the next 20 games shows. But B's and C's was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Hey, we come back, going to go Pats preview. We're going to talk Diggs. We're going to talk A.J. Brown. We're going to talk Alec Pierce and so much more. Stick around.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CorsoLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. All right, so tampering period begins in 2 days, the legal tampering period. Free agency begins. The combine already happened. Mark, there's a lot going on in the NFL right now. And we got to talk about some of this, especially as it relates to wide receiver. We're going to do it in Pat's preview right now.
Pat's preview.
Yeah, look, I think it was never more evident than in the Super Bowl. When you're up there in the booth and you're calling the game and you're looking down at it, you're going, where is Stephon Diggs? Why is he just totally being blanked out of this football game? And look, if your cap number is about to balloon to $26 million and you're going to turn 33 in the middle of the season, in the 26th season, those numbers just don't add up. They just don't. And look, I think, everyone has said it, and it's pretty obvious. They need a true X. They need a true Z. They need a true number one that can either draw coverage or when it's one-on-one coverage, it's an automatic. I'm going to him. I'm going to him because he's going to win. There's some guys out there that fit that profile. Some of them will be expensive. Some of them may come in the draft. But I think right now, when you're always trying to maximize return on investment when it comes to player acquisition, Stephon just now, the return on the investment on the cap dollars that it was going to take, it just doesn't match up anymore. That's just business in the NFL. And they're going to move on and get someone else.
That was Louis Riddick of ESPN discussing Stephon Diggs. And for those of you who live in a cave, the Patriots are going to be releasing when the league year opens next week. They're going to be releasing Steph Diggs. They're not going to pick up that, that option or contract or whatever. And so the Patriots are moving on from Steph Diggs. And the first thing I'm going to say, and I want to get into this, is thank you to him. Because let me tell you something. That's as close to a one as we had since Edelman was here.
Yeah.
That's the first 1,000-yard receiver we've had since, I think, Edelman. Pretty sure.
Yep. No, yeah.
And
Harry was a 1,000-yard receiver. Your buddy. Your buddy Harry. Your buddy Harry.
It's weird every time, though, Joe. It's never going to end.
Joe, his buddy Harry, Joe.
What he did for the locker room, what he did for the wide receiver room, what he did for Drake May's, mental state and how he was on that sideline. Remember that Buffalo game? Like, just you can't put a number on that. And so we're going to miss that. We're for sure going to miss that. So I thought he was great here.
Yeah. No, he was. And I thank him for what he gave us. Get us, we went to a Super Bowl. He far exceeded what we thought he would give us, Chris, this year. You know? And I'm, obviously we're glad for that. But let me ask you a question. You and I discussed it this week. Okay, so they release him. He goes out on the market, doesn't get the number he's looking for. Because of his relationship with Vrabel, we assume is still good. Do you think Vrabel said, Steph, listen, you deserve to, we can't give you what the number is here. And I know you don't want to renegotiate. Go see if you can find it somewhere. And if you can't, listen, the door's open, brother. You come back and we'll work something out if you don't get what you're looking for on the market. Do you think maybe that type of a conversation happened, or is the door completely shut on him?
I thought that right away, immediately. Yep. And I heard on, was it Zolak and Bertrand this week? Zolak alluded, kind of implied or maybe he heard this somewhere, I don't know, that basically he's done, like the door's shut, like he's not coming back.
Shut. Okay, and
but I don't know,
pretty in tune with that information usually.
But you know what, no, I but even saying that, I still don't close that door, just because and what you saw, the tweet from Diggs, when he left, it was still family,
that's what I'm saying, Chris. So all things being equal, if no one's giving him a bunch of money, at the end of the day.
Because there was a number they gave him. They had to have been a number that New England said, hey, look, we need to renegotiate down to this.
Sure they did. Yep.
And
he probably said no.
He said, no, I got to go see what I can, I think I
But if he can't get more than that number, maybe he does come back at the end.
Knock on the door and say, hey, look, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting the same. I'm getting offered the same thing you wanted to give me. Can I come back?
I'd rather be here with you guys.
I'd rather be here. I think it depends on what they do next.
Yep.
Well, they gave themselves an out with the media. All the media stuff you saw coupled his outing with his legal issues, almost as if like, hey, he's gonna have these problems on the end, and it may conflict with next year's season, anyways.
Which pisses me off if that's the case, because that irritates me, because you stood behind him when you were on a playoff run and you're doing well. Now all of a sudden you're going to use it as an excuse to get rid of him. That's
But Chris, when you looked at that case, you said, Mark, I don't know the particulars. You said I don't know the particulars of it, but you think this case will eventually go away, anyways.
I think it's going to get dismissed. Yeah. This is a money thing. No, so what I think it depends on is what they do next. Because if they do an AJ Brown,
free agent, Thornton's a free agent. Like what, Thornton?
You're such a jerk. You're gonna run the highlights, huh? For all the bad.
So where do we go next, Chris?
Mark,
where do we go next?
But if they bring in AJ Brown, then no, I don't think they bring Diggs back, because even at the number he wants, simply because two aging guys, two possible injury issues, they wouldn't do it in that situation. So so where do they do next? Well, everything you're hearing and all the talk out there right now is AJ Brown, Alec Pierce, AJ Brown, Alec Pierce. And this week Adam Schefter talked about the haul that Philly wants for AJ. I think they're losing their minds over there.
The trade conversation in this trade isn't going to involve a first-round pick. And I don't believe there's a chance in hell that the Eagles would move A.J. Brown unless it included a first-round pick. And even then, I don't think they're all that interested in moving on from him. Teams have been checking in. Like, there was a team that called the Eagles this weekend, and they said, hey, we have some interest in A.J. Brown. What would it take? And they heard the price, and they said, okay, well, thank you very much. Good luck getting that.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if that was New England.
It may have been Buffalo, Chris, because Buffalo pivoted pretty quickly and went and got DJ Moore.
Which, by the way, thank you. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
My big concern was who's Buffalo going to end up with.
Yeah,
it was one of my major concerns. I have to put this stiff because I think he's a stiff.
Yeah. All right. So A.J. Brown, Chris. Then the rumor comes out. Well, we offered a first and a third, and Roseman said no. I don't know if that's true. That's what we offered.
Right.
But listen,
and then Diana Rossini said there was no offers given to them yet.
And I believe that. I believe Roseman's out of his mind, and I don't think the Patriots have actually made any official offer for anything with them.
Why is A.J. Brown not assisting here?
I don't know. Maybe listen, we keep assuming he wants to play for Vrabel, Chris. Maybe we're off base there. I mean, because why, why isn't he doing that? So maybe we're off base.
Think he does. Nah, I don't think we're off base. I think he wants to be in New England. He's a Patriots fan. He's a Vrabel fan. It all fits.
But to your point, then why
he hates those people in Philadelphia?
Yeah, but when DK Metcalf wanted out of Seattle last year because he saw the handwriting on the wall with Smith-Njigba, he got himself out of there. Brown's not doing, and he told them, no, I'm not going to play for this team. I'm not playing for this team, so don't trade me because I'm not playing for them. So like A.J. Brown's doing none of it.
I mean, you would think after hearing this, A.J. Brown would be pushing and doing stuff on social media.
The relationship with players, and specifically you asked about AJ, has meant a lot. I've watched him grow. I've watched him mature. I'm proud of him. Proud of the father that he is. I'm proud of the husband, and that has nothing to do with where he plays and where he played. So those are the things that are important. We reach out and text each other during the things that happen good to each other, and sometimes things don't go so well for the people that.
Yeah, so that was Ray Lenny. He's too long with it. I can't listen to all of that again.
So Chris, here's the thing. Okay, so now you're entering free agency.
Yeah.
All right. You have it now. I'm assuming Monday, Tuesday comes around.
Monday's the tampering period.
Okay, so you don't get a deal for Brown. The deal doesn't happen that quickly.
Now they said it would happen over the next couple of days,
yes.
like today, tomorrow.
If it doesn't,
yeah.
Do you go into do what you got to do with a receiver, maybe draft one, and do you say, well, to Roseman, listen, it's Tuesday, tampering period's on, we're moving on. It's now or never. It's over. And once you hit that day, the A.J. Brown saga is over, and like there wouldn't be a trade before the draft, or like so Rose had a pick to go get another receiver. Like would it be an early April deal where okay, hey, now we're gonna make the deal because you can use this in the draft for the Philly, or are you gonna address receiver immediately now? Okay, we're gonna go get somebody in free agency, maybe an Alex Pierce, guys, and then we'll draft somebody. And like, when does that pivot happen? I don't know. Right?
It depends on how you see it. It depends on how you see the leverage, because if you feel like the Patriots have all the leverage on A.J. Brown, because at some point A.J. Brown's going to become vocal about this, and if New England has the leverage and that's where this dude wants to go, then yeah, I guess you could roll the dice, not really do anything in free agency, and get further to the.
That's a risk.
It is a risk. Do you also risk the Philadelphia Eagles seeing your situation and saying they're desperate, they need a receiver? We're going to wait. Yeah. It just depends on how much of a malcontent A.J. Brown is over there in Philly. Like, is Roseman sitting there saying, no, we'll roll this back. We're just going to make him play for us.
Yeah.
How much of a pain in the ass is he going to make himself?
Yeah, I don't know. And he's not right now. Like you said, Chris, he could be all over social media right now doing it, and he's not.
He's not. Unless they already know there's something in place.
Maybe.
Unless everybody's aware that there's a deal done, something's there right now. They're just not saying anything. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the drama. Talk to me about the football. because now we got talking about the two guys that the Patriots are linked to are him and Alec Pierce, okay, who's going to be about to become a free agent in a few days. And Alec Pierce was on Kay Adams, up in Adams, and talking to her about what he wants. So I think Alec Pierce is done in Indianapolis.
Yeah, he is done.
He's done.
No, he's done. He is done.
Because he pretty much said, I want to go play for a quarterback. I want to go play with a quarterback that's you just basically dogged every quarterback on the team.
You don't want to play with Daniel Jones.
Out of these two guys, break this situation down as far as what should New England be doing. Because I love the youth of Alec Pierce. I love the age, Mark, and the fact that you don't have to give up assets. But
I want Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I know, but he's
can't
not on
do
the
that.
team.
We
can absolutely do that. We should do that. We should do that. No, Mark, say it. I mean, why? Brian Thomas Jr. would be because I think you get him for less.
So I picked the phone up, but I'm going to tell you this. I know you keep saying we could get him for less, but I would give up our 31st pick for him, and I would even say, I would go as far to say this, how much I think he would be a stud with May. I would give them the 31st pick in the draft, and I would say, yeah, well, I'll give you a third round the next year, too. If that's what it would take, because I think, Chris, he's a top, with Drake May, he is a top 5'6" receiver in the league. 7.
Yeah, listen, I think I would do. That's the guy I would want.
He's not just a number one. He
immediately
puts himself in the top tier of number ones playing for May. But because everything tells you something's not right there in Jacksonville. But it doesn't seem like anybody's picking the phone up unless Jacksonville's out of their minds and saying they want something ridiculous. I don't know.
Right. So
Pierce, Chris, what do you see in Pierce?
Mark, that 31st pick, didn't we just pick up and trade for Chicago's pick, which would be a couple? Is that the 30?
No,
that was a 5th round pick for Bradbury, who was just traded. Yeah. Bradbury, the center. We traded our center for a 5th round pick, which, by the way, we'll talk about that in a second.
So, Chris, what do you see? What do you see in Pierce? I know Bedard's talking about, reminiscent of Randy Moss. I don't know what, but Bedard might have been drinking some real good bourbon that night. I don't know what he was talking about. But
I mean, he's one of the best deep ball wide receivers in the league. I would say he would, you watch some of his film and, not quite the same thing, but Randy Moss-ish in this offense. Like he's in the offense. Gives you that deep element that they don't really have. I mean, love what Kayshon Boutte did this year, but he is not a guy where they're like, oh, well, we got to keep a safety over the top of him. You do need to do that with Alec Pierce, and that opens up a lot of different things for other people.
Okay.
Right, I see that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he meant he gives you the same route running. Like he's going to run those same routes. He's not going to run them the same. He's not Randy Moss, but that's what he gives you in this offense. I like him because we have the best deep thrower in football, in my opinion. Okay, and that's what this guy is. Now, understand too, if you're looking for the comeback routes, if you're looking for sitting down in zones, if you're looking for slant stuff,
can he give you some of that stuff, slant stuff?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. The problem with Pierce is I know what he gives you on the outside. He's a 50-50 catch guy. He's a guy that's going to go up and get the ball. He's a guy that's going to get behind the coverage. Yes, Bedard's 1,000% right. You have him in the Super Bowl against Seattle. Witherspoon's not coming off the edge 6 times if you got Alec Pierce sitting out there. They're going to roll coverage to him. You have to. Because he runs like a 4.3, 4.4 40. I mean, the guy's going to get by you. He's 6'1", 211. So he's got the size. I mean, he's a big receiver. People don't understand that. So he's got the deep threat. Absolutely. Deep ball guy. The problem is in this type of offense, he's not the possession receiver. He's not going to be the guy that gives you those comebacks. He gives you those in cuts, but the deeper ones. But not the shallow stuff.
You have Kyle Williams.
Yeah, right.
Possession guy.
So he's not going to sit down in those zones like that. Maybe he can. The problem is you bring in a guy in, you're paying him. It's going to be inflated because it's free agency. So
Chris, he's going to be looking. He's going to get, because of the the free agency class for receivers, he's going to get like 60 million, 50 million guaranteed.
Right. And probably 30 per. 27, 30 per.
Kraft is not down that road, Chris. He's just not. I'm telling you.
Well, but Mark, they were willing to go down that road with Godwin last year.
Were they really, though? Were they really?
Oh.
I don't know.
They say it was a competitive offer. They say it was a real offer. I don't know.
And don't forget now, what are you going to do with Gonzalez now? Because if Gonzalez starts the season and they don't have an extension in place, you're screwed because he's going to play it out the year. And then you're going to give him the 5th-year option? He's still you have him for one more, maybe? A 5th year you can get him? You're going to lose him if you don't sign him now. He's going to end up saying, yep, okay, well, we'll play this contract out and see where we end up.
Yeah.
So the season of his life.
Yeah.
Well, so Mark, so Pierce, listen.
Now I'm hearing they're interested in Mike Evans too, Chris, maybe as a stopgap. I don't want him.
I know. That's the train I want to stop. I don't want a 1 year, 2 year, then reset. 1 year, 2 year, reset. Yeah. And so that's why Alec Pierce is attractive. But you're paying Pierce for potential. Now, potentially, he could become the well-rounded receiver that we want him.
Then you're hearing Tyreek Hill's name, Chris.
But Mark, so that's the attractiveness to Alec Pierce is the age, and you don't give up picks. But the known commodity, the true number one, the guy that dictates coverage and can still do it, that's A.J. Brown.
Yeah, it is. It is. He can still dictate coverage positively. He can. Yeah. And yeah.
What happens if they don't do either one?
All right. So
what's your backup plan to that?
So then you hear, well, they may do like a Stephon Diggs with Tyreek Hill.
By the way, with Alec Pierce, people are pissed because he's never gotten over 50 catches. However, he only had 80 attempts.
Yeah. He's playing with the little sisters.
Guys that are catching 120.
The quarterbacks were from the little sisters.
Well, Mark, guys that are catching 126 passes are getting 172 balls thrown at them.
Yeah.
But why?
I don't know if he's that type of receiver, Chris.
Right. Why is Indianapolis not referring? Yeah. Right. Why aren't they deferring to him? That's the question. But go ahead.
That's an interesting question. So do they pull a Diggs with Tyreek Hill? Low risk, high reward. Do they shake that tree and say, okay, what do you got? When are you coming back from your injury like they did with Diggs? Are you going to be ready by week 4?
They see that.
Do you do that?
Hill has got one place in mind.
Yeah. Going to Kansas. You go to Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. I mean,
all right. So you know what I'm going to bring up next, and everyone's going to say, you're a nut, because no one's brought it up yet except me to you.
Harrison.
No, I ain't getting Harrison. I ain't gonna deal with it. Listen, call up San Fran and say, hey, I'll give you a 5th-round pick. I'll take a flyer on Brandon Ayuk because, listen, Chris, if he's in his right mind and he's healthy, he's better than anything you got in this receiver room right now. I think he would be okay with Vrabel. I don't think he'd be off the reservation. He'll be like Diggs. I think Vrabel could get him to play. But that's as a last resort. If you fall through on A.J. Brown and you fall through on Pierce, and, I'd rather
God damn it, Mark. Aren't you sick of this? Like, aren't you sick of that, though? You want a number one on this friggin' team.
Well, because we can't draft, Chris. Kyle Williams, all right? Vrabel is high on him. If you've been listening for the last 2 weeks, Vrabel thinks this kid could be a number one. I don't see it. I was telling you as we were waiting to get on this morning, Chris, I said to you, I was watching the Baltimore game on the NFL Network this morning, and it was like 3rd and 3, and Williams was running a slant. Chris, the corner gave him the space to run the slant. He ran a terrible route. The corner breaks the pass up, but because Williams' route was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what people see with him. I don't get it.
The only thing I see out of him is he's got good footwork at the line of scrimmage, but that's about it. I don't see hand fighting. I don't see what he does with his hands. You put hands on Williams, you pretty much lock them down.
Chris, it's amazing to me, and I still will go back to this, and I keep repeating it. You just heard Bedard. You hear all these guys every week talk about the receivers. How is it no one has referenced the fact that Witherspoon blitzed 6 times in the Super Bowl. Never mind the coverage, never mind 6 times, Chris, because they had that much of a lack of respect for your receiver room. For Christ's sakes, the whole room needs to be revamped if you want to get technical about it.
Right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And nobody else is saying that. You and I are the only ones banging that goddamn drum. So, again, we'll see. I mean, what's our backup plan? No A.J. Brown, no Alec Pierce. Well, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be in play then at that point.
And then you're going to have to and then you're going to have to really do your homework for the draft.
Right, which in the next segment we're going to talk a little bit about.
But Brian Thomas Jr., Chris, I loved him coming out of the draft. I said, he's my this is the receiver. Move up and get him. He was going to drop to like 19, 20. And I said, you Patriots should move up and try to get this kid. Or move down and get him. And they didn't.
No. Before we move on to the combine, other free agents, because tampering's starting in a couple of days. What else should we be looking at? Is there anybody out there that you're seeing like a Trey Hendrickson?
You got to say edge, right? Because now Crosby, would you have given up 2 first-rounders for Crosby?
If I were Baltimore, absolutely not. Baltimore's not good enough for that. Like if I'm a team like the Rams, yeah,
you're one player. You're maybe a player. Like the Rams made the deal for McDuffie. That's a good deal for them because they need somebody to stop.
But not for us. Not for Baltimore. You can't give up 2 first-round picks. And I don't know. And I love Crosby, but I don't. Look at what happened with Green Bay and Parsons. He got hurt. Whatever. Crosby has an injury history.
Chris, there's a few edge guys. The edge guy from the Chargers is available. Mack is available.
Mack, that's a guy I like.
Mack's available. I know you like him. You think he's got something left in the tank. Hendrickson's going to cost way too much money. I don't think it'll be too rich for their blood.
No, their type of a deal would be Mack. Yes, would be the kid from Seattle. Would be Jalen Phillips, perhaps.
Those are their type of deals. They're not going to get one of these Hendrickson.
Right, and then the other thing too, if you're looking you're going to look at guard. You're talking about Mafi from Seattle, the edge guy.
Yeah, and he might be a little too rich for their blood, but
let me ask you guys this:
Joey Bosa, it's another guy that's out there.
Talking about before talking about the draft, like what's the difference of a draft pick? It becomes another Kyle Williams. Who do you have in there now that you got rid of Diggs? Who do you have in there as of one, or at least to teach these whomever you pick up be a one? You guys, you still got nobody. Who's training this kid to be a one? No matter who they get.
Right. You have nobody. So anyway, again, edge, like we threw some names out there. Linebackers, Mark. There's some linebackers out there. Okay. Your
guys out there, Nakobe Dean, you wanted to draft him.
He's out there. Now he's got an injury history, but he's there.
I take a shot with him, Chris. I take the shot.
You got guys like that. You got the the Devin Bushes of the world, Devin Lloyd. These linebackers that are more sideline to sideline, more guys that with speed and athleticism that I think would fit the system.
Before we move on, would you trade Christian Gonzalez for 2 first-rounders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I know that's very unpopular.
It's very unpopular.
But yeah, I would do it. Because those 2 first-round picks, I got my edge covered. I'm going to have a tackle covered. I'm going to have my number 1 receiver covered. And I'm going to have to figure out corner. I'll figure out corner. I will. I'll draft one. There's some good corners in this draft. And no, it's not going to be shut down. But with as much zone as New England played last year, I mean, let's not forget, everybody was bitching all season long about Christian Gonzalez, talking about, I don't understand why he doesn't have bigger numbers. Well, because you're putting him in zone a lot. Yeah. They're playing zone 70% of the time, whatever it is. Why have a guy on this team that's a man cover? Now, in the playoffs, they did that. They had to in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They had to because they had no pass rush with 4. So you had to play man and blitz.
Yeah.
I don't think that's their plan moving forward. I think it's their plan to get an edge guy that can put pressure on with 4 and Milton Williams and not have to play as much man. So if that's the situation, God damn it, yeah, give me a. I'm not doing it for what they just did with McDuffie. I'm not doing a 1 and a 2. But give me a Sauce Gardner deal. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'd do a Sauce Gardner deal. Yeah, absolutely.
So anybody else, either guards, they got to get they should go get a guard. They've now traded
Likely,
Bradbury.
Your son Andrew's been talking about Likely. Tell everybody that story.
Yeah, I mean, early in the season, we were watching him, and he's like, "This is the guy. He's going to be a free agent. This is the guy we need to get." And because you're a big tight end guy, how do you think he would fit in here, Likely, from Baltimore?
I think he'd be fine. He'd be good here, Chris. I think he gives you an element you don't have. He'll give you that Gronk down the seam look that you haven't had here since Gronk left. He's good he's good in the red zone. He's a good fit for what McDaniels does. That's the type of tight end that McDaniels can get the ball to, Chris.
Yeah.
McDaniels would maximize his abilities.
Yeah, and then you'd have to draft one that
no, you got to draft one.
You have to draft one that could play on the line of scrimmage a little, so you don't have to always bring in an extra tackle.
Yep.
But those are some of the free agents to look for. So pay attention to the coming week, the coming days here to see what New England does. And by the time we get back on next week, hopefully we should have a receiver in our room, a number one. I hope. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But Pat's preview was presented by Corso Law Group, corsolawgroup.com. We come back, going to go into Weekly Rewind. Want to discuss the Combine a little. Marcus got some players he wants you to be paying attention to for the draft. All that and more. No flipping.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CorsoLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. All right, let's talk about free agents. Let's talk about the draft a little. The Combine happened, the NFL Combine, and we want to get into that. I'm going to do it in Weekly Rewind right now. Yeah, I'm getting it. Going back through the week. About a Weekly Rewind. Okay, Mark, let's stay on wide receiver a little bit. And by the way,
I didn't watch the Combine.
Yeah. It's just you have it on like projections all over the house. You're watching it while you sleep. And by the way, we're going to be talking a lot about this for the next.
So we're going to do our draft. Right? We're going to do our draft breakdown position by position every week, like we always do, Chris.
But we wanted to give you a couple of names. Let's start with the obvious. Let's go to the receiver room. Okay. What did you see? Who? Give me a few names. Bernard, Brazel, but who do you like?
So I got it. So Bernard, the kid from Alabama, you and I talked about during the season, that we thought he'd be a good fit for McDaniel's offense here.
6'1", 206.
Yeah,
4'8".
He had a couple of hiccups at the Combine, which was great. I'm glad he did, because I think he'll be there at the end of the second round when you pick. I think he's a second. You could get him in the end of the second round. I think he'd be there for you if you wanted him. The kid, Chris, that really impressed me, and I watched him during the season, and then I watched him at the Combine, and then I went back and looked at some of his tape this week. I'm like, holy shit, is this kid, in my opinion, the steal of the draft, if you get him, would be this kid, Jacoby Lane out of USC. And I know everyone's talking about the other receiver from USC, Lemon, and I get that. But this kid, Lane, Chris, is tall, good hands, real good speed. Chris, he ran if you watch the Combine, and I know you love this drill, the kid ran a real good gauntlet. And that's something that you pick, you watch, and you're like, man, because the gauntlet translates to the field when you're cutting across the middle of the field. It translates.
Well, because you stem the route. You stem the route, and the more you can keep that corner on the line, without committing, the more separation you can get.
This kid, Jacoby Lane, I am telling you, if you could I'm telling you, this kid will be number one in this league. Listen, the other kid from USC a few years back, the kid for Atlanta, Drake London, went in the first round. I think this kid's just as good as Drake London, in my opinion. And he could possibly get for you at 2 in the second round, your second round pick. I think he helped himself. I think he moved himself up. I think he was projected to be late second, early third. I think he probably now is a middle of the second round guy. But Chris, I'm telling you, the kid's a 1. I'm telling you, some of these other receivers, KC Concepcion, I don't want any part of him. He dropped way too many balls for me in the regular season. I watched those games. See, what people fail to realize, Chris, is I actually watch these games. I got nothing better to do with myself. I actually watch these games. So when people say, "Oh, look at the tape on this kid. Did you see him in real game speed and action?" Like Concepcion dropped way too many balls for me. This kid, everyone's mentioning that this kid from Washington, Boston, is a Vrabel type of receiver. Another stiff. He dropped all kind of balls at the combine. I don't want any part of him. But any other receivers stand out to you?
I tell you, I like you look a little deeper in day 3 stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
day 3, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Brennan Thompson on the Mississippi State.
Yeah, he's fast, Chris. The kid's fast.
He had a 4.26.
His game speed too. If you go back and watch his tape, he's got game speed. So that's the other thing, Chris. When you look at your receivers, yeah, you can run a 40.
Wasn't as good on the gauntlet, but
he wasn't. He struggled a little bit. He struggled.
No, he's going to be a possession guy.
He's a day 3 guy, Chris, though.
Right. Yeah. That's a guy that I wanted, you to pay attention to as we move forward, getting into the thing. And then when you go over to tight ends, because we've been talking about, we got to upgrade tight end.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we know that. We know we have to do that. There's no question about it. There's some guys that I want to ask, like, for example, Jack Endry's out of Texas. Okay.
Yep.
He had the best gauntlet drill out of all the tight ends, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
Now, again, another guy that I think is he's like a Knox kind of, like, I don't see him playing a lot on the line of scrimmage. Do you?
No. Nope.
But that's a guy that I'm thinking about. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this Jaron Knack. I don't know if it's Knack or out of Oklahoma. Ran a 4.5.
Yeah.
He's converted linebacker. He's 6'2", 234. He'll play a little more on the line of scrimmage. That's a guy that could go undrafted, but like late in the draft.
The other kid I looked at, Chris, go ahead.
No, any guys jump out. Go.
The other guy that I looked at, Chris, was this kid Josh Davis from Alabama. And I think he would probably be a guy you'll get like fourth round, third, fourth round, probably fourth. You could probably grab it maybe in the late third, fourth round. I'm thinking fourth round. Yep. He tracks the ball really well, Chris. He'll lower his shoulder. He played SEC competition, and Alabama does not feature the tight end. Right? But I think this kid has some ability. The kid, Tanner, I think you pronounce his last name Kuzio. He walls off guys, Chris. Right? You watch him in the red zone. He reminds me of Jake Ferguson, which, I think Ferguson is underutilized with Dallas because of the type of offense they run. I think Ferguson would put up some real good numbers if he was on a team that, utilized him more. And then you got other guys, Chris, like this kid, the kid from the kid Stowers from Vanderbilt is going to go way too early. Like, you're not going to waste a pick on him.
Yeah, there are some guys that you just can't,
No, the tight end from Oregon, that's not realistic, right? Well, you and I are looking at the tight end from Alabama, from Notre Dame, Chris. Maybe a fifth round guy. Guys like that are the guys we're looking at because, and I'll have my list. I always come up with one or two tight ends that are always good. I'll have my list ready when we go through that for the draft. But I think in this draft, that's where you're going to have to get your tight end, Chris, is in those middle rounds. Somebody, a young guy that we can develop. If you get Likely, well, now you got Likely. Now you're going to build that room out because this will be probably Hunter Henry's last year, I'm guessing.
I would think, and then when you shoot, last thing on the offense, just real quick, I want to talk about is, obviously offensive line. It's an issue.
Yep.
I'm talking late stuff now. I'll tell you, the guy I would really love to go get.
Yep.
Is this Spencer Fano out of Utah. But I think he pulled himself up in the draft.
You, Chris, I don't think you'll go that late now.
No, the right tackle. But that's a guy that if I could have somebody slot in 2 years from now for Moses, that would be the guy. I also like Emil Wagner out of Notre Dame, the tackle. He's a day 3 guy. So that's a guy you can go take in day 3 to be a good swing tackle. He's a right tackle. Okay, but Moses is 35 years old. So you're going to have to do something.
Yeah.
And then the other guy to look at too is this Pregnon out of the guard out of Oregon. Now the problem with him is he's projected in the second round. You're not taking a guard in the second round, but if he drops, guard is because of what they did with Bradbury, trading Bradbury to the Bears. Pretty much told you that
Wilson's your starting center.
Wilson's your center, so now we need a left guard.
Yep.
God damn it! If they had just done what we wanted last year and going to get Tooney,
Yeah, you'd have been all set over there.
been all set.
Yep.
But anyway, so those are some names to look at. And on the defensive side of the ball, Mark, anything jumping out at you? Because when you look at them edge, there's some good edge guys. If they're going to take somebody with the 31st pick,
Yep.
and it's going to be an edge guy, love Caleb Banks out of Florida.
Yep. Yeah, I like him.
I like that player a lot.
I like him.
Now other people are looking at different guys in that spot, but I'm looking at him. But if you're going to go, a little bit later in the draft, you got an edge guy, the Penn State Dennis Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy that can come off the edge. He runs a 4.6, so he's quick. He is quick off the edge. More of a guy that's a specialist kind of guy. Then you got the Cassius Howell, the Texas A&M edge guy. So those are some guys to look at. What did you think of Jacob Rodriguez, the Texas Tech linebacker?
I'm going to tell you something, Chris. I think he is what he is, Chris. So either you like him or you don't. I think he showed well at the combine. I think you could get him in the third round, Chris.
Yeah.
Now,
Early third.
Whether he drops as low as you're drafting in the third, maybe you're going to move up a few spots to get him. You have the draft capital to do that. But I think you could get him in the third round, Chris. I think the kid's going to be a solid pro. I really do.
And then the other guy, the York from Texas A&M, is another linebacker to look for. So these are guys that you got to pay attention to.
Chris, you know why he jumped off the page to me, and I thought he'd be there in the second round if you wanted to take a shot. But I don't know if he'll drop that far now. We had a real good combine. You keep talking about we need to get a safety.
Yeah.
And you keep talking about we need to get somebody like the kid from Seattle.
Yep.
Eminori, right?
Yep.
That kid from South Carolina, Jalen Kilgore, is an absolute stud. Before the combine, I was like, you know what? This kid could be there with our second round pick. At 62, he could be there. But I don't think he'll be there now, not after what he showed in the combine.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be there either. But some other guys to look at, Robert Spears Jennings out of Oklahoma. Yep. He's another guy. He runs, he popped. He got a 4.32. He ran 6'2", 205. It's a big guy. So he's a guy. He's a day 3 pick. So he's a guy. He's got speed, that combination. That and he's big enough too, where he can come down in the box, because that's the kind of guy I'm looking for at safety now. Looking for the kind of guy that I can go and play split safeties, too high coverage, and my nickel is a safety. My fifth defensive back is now a safety, and I can play him in the box, and I don't have to get out of that too deep coverage to take away the deep ball anymore. And then I can go cover 6 and do things like that. So a lot of guys that we've been looking at, a lot of guys for you to look at. We're going to cover this as the weeks pass. We're going to go specifically into each room and go through all the wide receivers. Mark will have a full breakdown on it. Linemen, D-backs, all of that stuff. So we'll be paying attention to that, but we got to go. Corso and Catone was presented by Corso Law Group. Hey, come back next weekend, noon Eastern. We're going to have our free agency fallout. So we'll see what the Patriots did. We'll see what a lot of other teams did. We'll be in the midst of all of that. So stay tuned for that. Catone's comments will be back. Mark, we took you.
You didn't even, Joe. He totally glanced over it, sniffed me, didn't even reference it, Joe, like I was a mirage over here.
Completely put him on the pay no mind list.
No.
We put him on today, but we'll bring it back next week. So make sure you're tuning into that. Anything you bring to the table, we will be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. See you next Saturday.
Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon.